Hey fam, it's October 8th, 11:21 a.m. PST. I just heard the news about Israel. There's always a war going on in the world, whether it's with others or inside of ourselves. Human beings just like to fight. I'm not sure why. I think it's our pain bodies reacting and outbursting. But yesterday I recorded a video I was listening to Magic by B.O.B. and it reminded me of grade 8, one of my best friend's kitchen with my other two best friends, just dancing, listening to the song, just having like the best time of our life. Talking about boys, we were young. And so right now I was just thinking, because I have a best friend / family basically in Israel who I was just talking to. And I am scared. It's scary. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I could just hear my cousins laugh in my head with my friend who's in Israel. Like all of us laughing. I could just hear all of us laughing. And I was like, back to simpler times when everyone was alive. And then that last part that just went through my mind, I was like, wow, like that's so sad that's like, it's funny, but like it's sad that those are the words that I'm choosing. Like when everyone was alive, like that's pretty wild, because then I was just thinking about, because that's what my friend, Kat said, oh wow, simpler times. And I'm like, yeah, that was a good time, like grade 8, no worries in the world. Like literally everyone was alive. So much has changed since then. Life is absolutely beautiful, and it's also complete chaos sometimes. But that's what reminds you to be present. It always comes back to presence, because if you live in the past, there's, anxiety. If you live in the future, there's fear, or vice versa. I don't know, whatever. But there's emotions that don't serve you, and maybe they do serve you. I've been working through what's a healthy space to sort of sit and experience an emotion, and then where's the line that it's now you're dwelling on it, now you're keeping yourself there. What is that? Because I often jump out of that space a little too quickly, perhaps. I don't know, it's worked for me, but maybe it's not working anymore. I feel good though. That being said, I have been crying a lot. So depends on the hour, but just being real with you, life's a journey. But what I find helps is meditation. Seriously, it's like the only thing that's helping right now. Fitness, not even doing the trick. I freaking love fitness. It helps a bit, but not like seriously. So whatever it is, go into meditation. The answers are within you. You know what to do. You know what's right for you. And maybe you don't, because it doesn't matter. Everything's right for you. Like whatever the option or possibilities are, they are right for you. They're right for your path. Whatever path you go down, whatever detour you go down is meant to be. You're going to pick up a nugget on that little detour around the corner. I don't know. Maybe you'll run into somebody. Maybe, who knows? What is it? The burnt toast effect. I forget where I was listening to that. Maybe a book? Probably. But the burnt toast effect, that's what they call it, or that's what somebody calls it that I heard, is when you maybe burn a piece of toast in the morning and then you miss a car accident, or you miss the bus and you get on a different bus and you meet somebody else, but it's all meant to be. Like if you didn't burn that piece of toast, you wouldn't have met that person or saved yourself from that accident. Who was it? My aunt was telling me the other day, when they were young, my mom borrowed her car without permission, my like her sister's car without permission when they were young. And thank God she did, because my aunt was on her way to a party or gathering that night, or was going to be, and I think the house got robbed. I don't know how dangerous it was, but it got broken into, and like, it was not a good situation. But she wasn't there that night, so saved her from who knows what could have happened. It's hard to have faith, but that's the challenge. That's what I think we're here to do, is have faith. We're in a time where religion or belief or whatever is sort of out the window. I'm not necessarily one for religion. I'm all about beliefs, but the separation between religions, I'm not really here for. I think we're all human beings. Therefore, we're all one, like, simple as that. Whether or not we believe in one God or another, it's kind of the general beliefs. I think having beliefs and praying to a higher being or purpose helps. Like, people who go through trauma or, issues, what else can you do but pray, right? Like, it's like, everyone's like, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. Until you need to. Until you cannot do anything about it, and the only thing that can, the only being that can make an impact is the ones higher than us, the ones above us, the ones greater than us. And then that's when everyone finds religion, when they're in a state of despair or just helplessness. It's like, yeah, then you find God. Not that I'm religious and like, oh my God, Jesus in the Bible. Never read the Bible, obviously. I honestly want to read the Bible. I'm kind of fascinated by what it says. I've read the Torah or portions of it, and I'm here for it. I agree. And I'm sure all of the religions are basically, not going to say the same, but like have similarities where we are praying to a higher being. And it's very humbling, because I was just sitting here thinking about just the fact that I often think that, nothing bad can happen to me, or nothing bad can happen to the ones that I love. Like, I'm just going to pray it away, and, I'm positive, and those things just don't exist in my realm. But they so do. They so do. And I'm reminded again and again, and I'm humbled by it. Like, I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it again, but I remember when we heard Al was in the hospital, being like, we just have to get there, Tasha and I, and hold her hand, and she will wake up, because she just needs our love. And that's all she needs. She just needs our love. And like, when she knows we're there, she'll wake up. And then she didn't. It was the most humbling experience, because I was like, wow, I have zero control over this. I have zero control over life or death. I can't manifest somebody's health. Maybe I can, I can pray, but it's out of my control. Or, I've been contemplating it for years of like, what does it mean? Obviously, I'm meant to learn something. Obviously, she was ready to go, which I'm happy for her. Whatever is best for her is best for me. Whatever's best for me is best for all. That's kind of what I try to remind myself, is what's best for me is best for all, and what's best for someone else is also best for me, whether or not I agree with it at first or not. It's best for all of us, because we are all one. But right now, instead of being ignorant as I was in the past of like, oh, my friends and family in Israel are going to be okay, it's like, whoa, Sky, take a step back. Let's just pray and surrender to the higher power, and give my thoughts and my prayers. I'm also reminded, because after the first night we saw Al, I made a post. Oh wow, it makes me emotional. Like, I've never begged for someone's life before until that day. And it was like, holy shit, I'm like begging for a life right now. Like, please save her life. And Tasha and I went to the ocean and like we're screaming at the ocean, being like, please save her. And I remember just not knowing what to do. Just like, a sick feeling inside me. And it was like, please, everybody pray for her. And I made a post explaining the situation, being like, please pray for her. And then I think we got a little drunk and I deleted it because I was embarrassed. Because it's like, I don't know, I also think like, I guess that was my reacting like ego, being like, I'm not a victim, not wanting people to be like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like, it's like, obviously nobody's gonna look at her like, oh, she's begging. But it's like, that's like, I can't believe I even thought that. Like, I wasn't selfless enough to like put my ego aside. Whatever deep, obviously I was not consciously aware of all that stuff at the time, but it was like, I don't know, I guess I just didn't want to make other people uncomfortable, which is also why I don't often talk about it without being asked, because I know most people don't know how to react. They just sit there awkwardly and listen. And then it's like, well, I'm not going to make you like listen to this if you're not asking about it. So I don't just like talk about it, which I think is what helped me help others, is because I know that most people aren't just going to talk about it when they're ready. Like, you need to be asked. You need to kind of pry and then go, oh, okay, no, if you're uncomfortable, but like, let somebody know that you are there for them. Otherwise, they don't want to put their burdens on you. Like, I didn't want to put my burdens on the rest of the world. So it was like, okay, never mind. Now I'm like, fuck that shit. Let's all pray. Let's all pray to a higher purpose. Like, there's a God. There's something, there's energy, there's universe, whatever it is, there's some force working for us. Let's call on it, because if you call on it, it will come. But if you don't, then it might not come. Like, it doesn't know you need help unless you ask for help. All you have to do is ask. Just ask. And that's what I've been learning, because I've been so independent for so long, and I still am. And it's very challenging to ask for help. But I do my little oracle cards every day. Where is the one that I pulled? What does it say today? Dream big. Let go of small thoughts about yourself. See yourself succeeding. Haha. Thanks. I'm going to do dream big. But all you have to do is ask. I swear when I do ask, things just appear. It's so simple and it's so straightforward if it's meant to be. If it's not, okay, whatever. Bit sad, isn't it? Anyways, my heart and prayers are with Israel, people of Israel. But that being said, it's also with the bombers and the attackers and the people invading and in anywhere in the world. It's with the people who are hurt, like, and the people who are hurting. You know what I mean? Because bulliers are the ones in pain. So there's just so much pain in the world. There's also so much beauty in the world. I also think it's a bit of the Matrix, keeping us in this pain, because then we're easier to control. I'm definitely, my mind, if you didn't know by now, that's where my mind always is. I am like, I was talking to somebody the other week, and we were jet skiing, and he's like, what's this? And I said, I don't know. He's like, you've been here your whole life and you know what this is? I'm like, no. He goes, what's this? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, how do you not know this stuff? I'm like, I don't think you understand. When I'm looking out, I'm not like, oh, what's that thing over there? I'm like, can I merge with the trees? Like, if my vibrational frequency matched their frequency, could we be one? Could I see through them? That's where my mind's at. My mind is in energy, not matter. Like, it's how can I morph matter, perhaps, or like, I don't know, but that's where my mind's at. I see what's in front of me, and I'm wondering if I was vibrating at a different frequency, what would it look like? Like, would it still be all these 3D, sort of 2D, whatever images, or would it just be like strings of color sort of morphing together, but not solids whatsoever? I'm often not interested in facts, but theory. Like, instead of sitting here thinking, what can I physically do to help the world be at peace? It's like, no. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to go inside my mind, inside my body, to go outside. I'm going to go inside, and I'm basically like, I'm thinking like I'm a robot, basically, where I'm inside, putting things together and working together. It's like, okay, how can I reconstruct the world so people are at peace and people are happy? Like, what is that? How can I do that? And then really it ends up me just being like, okay, I just have to feel that and then emanate that, but consciously emanate it to, there's an exercise that I used to do of, visualizing from my solar plexus one person that I love and giving them love, and then a group of people that I love and giving them love, and then a community that I love and giving them love, and then the world, like visually seeing the world. Now, I don't know if I see it as a sphere or a flat plane. I don't know anymore, you guys. I'm just like open to everything, but I totally believe in the stars. So there's a lot of, I just like to kind of devil's advocate both sides of it, to get myself out of perhaps programming. Maybe it's true, I don't know. I'm just open to everything. People are like, you're even contemplating that? And it's like, why are you not contemplating that? Why are you not contemplating everything? Like, why don't you question everything? I don't take anything for face value. Like, I do, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, probably should have been like a little more cautious. But it's just interesting contemplating. I'm feeling myself start to get a little anxious because it's almost noon and I haven't had I've done a lot, but I haven't had like the most productive morning of what I feel like in my head. And I'm trying to take a step back from that and recognizing that just because I haven't physically like worked out or done a lot today doesn't mean that me going inside and sending love and peace and healing energy out to the universe is less valuable. Like, I'm trying to change that belief, because I know a lot of people around me don't value meditation or like inner work. Tons of people judge me for it, or they'll be like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm like, okay, listen to yourself. Like, you have no idea. You don't realize how powerful it is. It's like, what is it, Abraham Lincoln? 5-6 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening the saw. That's how I see it. And that's what I have to continue to remind myself, that even if other people don't see it like that, I have to see it like that. And my having the courage to do it and be seen will influence others. Like, often my dad would be like, oh, you're just doing things for yourself. Like, years ago, because I'd meditate and I'd journal and I'd go in the ocean, and I'm like, all I want to do is help the world and help literally billions of people. Like, that's what I think about on the daily, is how can I help the mass population be better. But just years ago I realized the only way to make a change is to lead by example. So yeah, I work on myself. I go inward. I journal. I run. I go in the ocean. For like 5 years, I went in the ocean multiple times a week by myself. Just imagining the day that I would have a group of friends who would want to do this with me. And then 2 years ago, I had a group of friends that went in the ocean with me every freaking Sunday, and it was the best time of my life. I was like, wow, it's here. And then now, my dad takes ice baths on the regular. We'll go in the ocean on his own. We'll go in the lake on his own, who genuinely enjoys the cold water now. And my mom is like, see how you've changed his life, Sky? Like, don't forget that. Like, even if somebody doesn't see what you're doing in that moment, have faith in yourself that you will influence them. And then she's like, look at me, you've changed my life. And however many people I don't know how many people it's impacted. It's a ripple in a pond, and that ripple will become waves miles away. So keep doing what you're doing for you, because what's best for you is best for all. Don't feel selfish taking time to work on yourself, because that's the only way you can help others. I just wanted to mention that because I think we should change our beliefs around self-love and taking care of ourselves in order to take care of others. They even say that in planes, put your mask on before others. Like, you have to. Anyway, so I spend a lot of time meditating and going inward. And I genuinely feel like everyone's like, oh, you're so lucky. But it's like, yes, I am. But I also think all that time that I spend manifesting and going inside and like consciously trying to alter my reality to reflect what's inside and what I see inside makes what happens on the outside happen quicker. Like, yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm putting in a lot of work physically, but that's because I'm putting in a lot of work spiritually. I genuinely believe that guys, it's just wild. Everything happens for me. That being said, I go through a lot of shit, and the past year, even though it's been just an absolutely extraordinary year traveling, it's also been a very challenging year emotionally and internally. So those things go hand in hand. Like, I've been working through a lot of, I don't even know, like past lifetime stuff too. There's so much. I'm like, this can't all be from this 27 years. Like, well, what am I dealing with here? But that's why I think I play the game so much. I'm like, okay, if I'm here, what else can I think up for myself? Like, head offices, Adidas headquarters, global headquarters. How did I end up there? I don't even know, man. I wanted to see it. Fuck. World just goes, here you go. And then you ride the magic carpet. And I often ride the magic carpet, and then sometimes I feel some fear that I'm gonna fall off. But what I have to remind myself is that it's magic. There's no falling off. That it's not a possibility. Just have faith that this is your life. And what I was thinking about last night is, even though this might be a very challenging year, but it looks like it's the most extraordinary year from the outside because I've been traveling for the whole year and living this best life. That's because those are my standards. Like, those are my standards. It's absolutely not easy. I'm definitely not probably nearly as financially stable or secure or whatever as anyone listening to this podcast. But that's because my focus right now is more of courage and adventure and not necessarily security. Like, I'll value security. I'm starting to value security a little bit more now that I'm like, okay, I've gotten that adventure side out. But it also comes in this, the fear of death all the time. So that happens. But back to my standards. This is like the baseline bottom of my life that I see as a possibility. It's like what might look, oh my God, fairy tale to you. Your life is your life because what you're living right now is your standard. But for me, what I see is like what I want for my life is so much more than the average person. Most people think I just want to fly first class like once. I'm like, I am done with flying economy. Okay, not actually because I can't afford it yet, but in my mind, I'm like, this is the last time. I want a private jet. Like now, I'm 27, but in my head, I think that that's my possibility in reality right now. Why? It's not that I'm unhappy if I don't have these things. It's not that at all. I actually am quite at peace when I'm just meditating in nature or just in my, whatever it is, like meditating, going inside. I could be more than happy to just do that forever. Honestly, sometimes I want to. Sometimes I just want to go and live in a small jungle town, make no money, and just be. But then I'm like, but I also think we're here to play the game. Like, we signed up. You were born. That's you signing up. Why not try and do everything life can offer? Which to me is luxury. It's adventure. And that's why I think I like luxury, is because I like adventure, but I like comfort. I want to be in a beautiful home. I want to be in nature. I want to go skydiving. I want to camp, but then I want to come home to a comfortable place. And I want to travel in comfort. And I love the ocean so much. I love the water so much. It's like I want to be on the water all the time. So I want a yacht. And I want to fly a helicopter. And I want a helicopter that flies to my yacht. Because why not? It's not like, I don't know, I think society has brainwashed everyone that, oh, you shouldn't dream for these things. You shouldn't think like that. And it's like, that's your problem. You're thinking you're going to be disappointed if you allow yourself to dream about that and then you don't get it. It's like, well, first of all, what's meant for you is meant for you. If it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you. Like, accept that fact. I don't get bothered if I don't have something. It's just like, okay, whatever. But I also don't think it's that difficult. The most challenging part is believing that it's possible for you. That's the difference that I find with myself and a lot of other people, is that they don't believe it. You don't believe that you're worthy of all of these things, when it's like, it doesn't even matter if you're worthy or not. Like, one, you are, obviously, but two, guys, it's a game. Like, play the game. You're not gonna play the game like hoping just to pass. It's like, why not flying colors? Like, succeed with flying colors. And if you don't, great. Like, shoot for the moon, land on the stars, whatever. But like, shoot for Saturn. Shoot for other galaxies and dimensions of time. I don't know. Like, see where you land. Who the fuck cares? Nothing matters. It all matters, but nothing matters. Like, once you're gone, you're gone. And they're both such freeing thoughts where, yes, while you're here, everything matters. So therefore, don't stress about it. But then also, nothing matters. I was talking to my sister the other day, and this is why I love my family so much. I think because we're also real about life. And I was overthinking a bunch of stuff because there's a lot of decisions to make right now, like life-altering decisions. And I'm a Virgo, and I overthink everything. And then she was like, and I've been talking to some friends, and, I'm like, oh, shit, I've got a lot of shit I got to work through. And then I talked to my sister, and she's like, well, why don't you just do this? Like, nothing really matters. And I was like, yeah, that's the attitude. There we go. I feel better now. Okay. Sounds good. Thanks. So, lots happened today in this podcast. It's always a bunch of stuff, but pray for others. Pray for the world. What's best for you is best for all. What's best for all is best for you. Have faith and dream big. Have no fear. Like, have the fear, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Remember that. Why play small? Like, why play safe? Why not risk it all? Risk it for the biscuit. Because who cares? What's the worst that can happen? Like, seriously, what is the worst that can happen? And I play that in my mind, and I'm like, well, I could die. And then I'm like, am I okay with dying right now? Yes? Okay, I'll do it. If I'm not, okay. You know what I mean? Certain things, it's like, I don't know, maybe cliff jumping. I'm like, man, I'm not really okay dying for this. Okay, don't. But, like, certain things, it's like, yeah, okay. Travel the world, sure, I'll take the risk. And I've gotten around quite a few times and come back safe and sound, if not better than ever. So I love you. Have the best day ever to the possibility that you can. And know that you can change the world by changing yourself. Just start by going inside. Mwah. I love you so freaking much. I hope you know that.